So Josh, this time last year, bro, what happened to you, man?
This time last year, I was involved in a tragic accident
What?
where someone lost their life. And at the time of the accident, I didn't understand what was going on. I was driving down Ambassador Caffrey, and before I could even cross over Ambassador and Dulles, I seen headlights coming my direction. So at that time, I knew someone right about that.
Okay.
So before I could even act, all I remember is waking up to the airbags and smoke all around my vehicle. So after the airbag deployed, I got out of the vehicle, and all I can hear was loud music. So when I looked over at the car, I seen the windows and everything was busted out. So the first thing I thought that the person that hit me didn't have insurance. So I ran out looking to see if I saw somebody running. So as I'm looking around, that's when people started to show up. So they ran to the car because the car was smoking. And as looking in the car, they seen someone slouched over on the passenger side. And I remember the guy hollering. He was a volunteer firefighter. He said, "Someone's in the car, someone's in the car." So at that time, they said that she's not breathing. So after that, a couple of bystanders walked up to the car and immediately started CPR. So I'm still not understanding what's going on. I hurried up and ran to my truck and got the phone and called 911. So as I'm waiting for them to come at the scene, I just seen replays of them working on the girl.
Yeah.
So I say maybe 5 or 10 minutes after, that's when the emergency people pulled up.
Yeah.
And at that time, I see them taking her out of the vehicle and putting her on the stretcher. So as they leaving with her, that's when the police came out and came on the scene.
Yeah.
And one of the police officers asked me for my driver's license. So I went ahead and got in the truck, and while I'm reaching over for the driver's license, that's when one of the police grabbed me. So I was still confused of what happened. I was still in the daze. My mind wasn't all there. So I asked him, I said, "Why are you grabbing me?" He said, "Because there's a firearm on the floor." So I'm not understanding. I didn't even know the firearm was on the floor. So he told me, he said, "Well, we have to arrest you anyway. We have to take you down to the station." He said, "Because anytime there's a fatality, the surviving victim have to go down to the station and get the breathalyzer." So I asked him, I was like, "Well, can I please stay with my vehicle?"
Yeah.
He said, "No." He said, "We have to go now." So they walked me over to the car and put the handcuffs on me, treated me like a criminal. You know, I started crying in the back seat because the experience of them, the way they treated me was bad.
Yeah.
So they brought me down to the station. So as they took me out of the car, I asked a question. I said, "Can you let me know the condition of the girl?" And it's like, traffic's gonna come down and explain everything to you. So as they walking me in the building, they walk me into a room with a lot of yellow lines on the floor, and have a big projector and a lot of other little tests that you do. So they had one of the cops was preparing a little thing, look almost like an answer machine.
Yeah.
And he got me to blow. So I blew one time, and as soon as I blew, a printed paper came out with a big zero on it, showing that I was free of any alcohol or drugs. So maybe 10 minutes after that, they told me, "Okay, well, you did everything that we needed you to do. Now, your family member's here to pick you up," which is my sister Nikki. And then Nikki came and get me and brought me down to Lafayette General. Yeah, Nikki came and got me at the police station, and at that time we walking through the lobby and we saw a group of people in the lobby. So at that time I kind of knew what was going on. So I just stayed to myself and try not to make no contact with the family. And after maybe 5 or 10 minutes after that, I heard a loud banging on the door, on the room door. So that's one of the family members banging because they probably just got the news from the doctor that the girl died. So I reached over to my sister Nikki and I told Nikki, I said, "The girl died." And she's like, "Well, how you know?" I said, "That gotta be her family right here or whatever." So at the same time, I'm still not trying to let them know that I was involved in the accident in any kind of way, because you know, I didn't know what they would have done to me. I'm not sure what they're thinking about me at the time. They could be thinking, this guy killed my cousin. Or, you know, they didn't know who was right or wrong at the time, so I didn't know if they would have tried to harm me in any kind of way. So maybe 10 minutes after that, that's whenever the door opened, and one of the nurses called me to go in the back. So they asked me, like, what brings you here today? Because I didn't go in the ambulance. I was supposed to go in the ambulance. But the incident with the police, my family member had to bring me. So she's like, what brings you here today? I said, I was involved in an accident, a bad accident on Ambassador and Dulles. So she's like, oh, really? She said, we're treating the girl that was involved in the accident. And they told me that the girl died. They said she didn't make it. So they, 10 minutes after, the doctor walked in, he said, yeah, we treated the victim, she's deceased, and she had no outside injuries. Everything is eternal. And they said that from what they heard, the police officer told them that the girl was wrong at that time. Yeah. And then maybe 30 minutes later, they discharged me. So I happened to walk out in the lobby with still her family members there, still trying not to make contact and letting them know that I was involved in the accident. So I went home that night. They gave me pain pills and things for muscle cramps or whatever, for muscle spasm. So I immediately came home and I tried to find some relief from Facebook. So as I'm scrolling through Facebook, I see somebody share what just happened. So that's what, it really brought reality to me, because I was able to go home and trying to find some comfort. And you know, that's whenever I realized what really happened. Yeah. But as I'm trying to clear my mind, I'm opening up Facebook, I see somebody share a KLFY post. So that made me relive the whole thing over. You know, so I stayed up to about 3, 4 in the morning. You know, I had to wind up taking a pain med to try to get me to go to sleep. I stayed up just thinking for about, you know, between 4 and 5 o'clock. Finally, maybe slept 30 minutes, an hour, and then the next day, that's whenever it really hit me. I'm laying in bed, and then around 12 o'clock, I knew the news was about to come on. So one of my family members called me in the front to go ahead and see the news. So as I'm walking to the front, the news come on, and I see my truck full of fluids, you know, and the accident scene right in front of me. That's when I knew that it was real. That's when it started to sink in. And from that day, I just began depressed, and you know, always asking the why questions. Why me? What could I do to avoid the accident? If I would have left 5 minutes earlier or take a different route, would that happen? And I just been down. I kind of absent myself away from friends, family. Just didn't have the energy to play with my daughter anymore. Just was just in a bad state of mind. You know, just wasn't okay with life at the time. Didn't understand why I was put in that situation. But I hired a traditional lawyer. For some reason, the case didn't work out. So that's when I hired Mr. Curtis with a pro se action. And that's whenever Mr. Curtis, as soon as he was told about the case, Mr. Curtis did everything he was supposed to do. He tackled the case as soon as he got the information. The pro se act really helped me. It saved me money. I gained a lot of knowledge. He showed me how to handle my own life, you know, in the future. Pro se just did a lot for me, you know. Now I'm able to live. I'm able to put the energy back in my daughter. I'm able to be happy and put the past behind me. I'm able to plan for a new beginning, a new year. You know, I'm much happier now, and you know, just glad that everything is behind me. So I'm looking forward to see what life has planned for me.
So what's the end message? What do you want people to know?
The message, you know, for anybody that's been through what I've been through, I just, you know, just surround yourself around family, around loved ones. Do things you love doing, because working also helped my mind, you get through the situation, and just don't give up. Just stay busy, keep a clear head. Just stay motivated. Just
And driving.
driving. What people don't realize, people don't realize every day that someone can lose their life. You treat every intersection like a possible car accident. Still to this day, I fear every intersection, not knowing if someone ran the red light and could collide with me, or somebody on a cell phone, or being impaired. Because that's not a good thing, being impaired driving, because you pay the ultimate price. You can either kill someone or just left in a bad situation, knowing that you hurt someone. So for anybody out there, I would say drive sober or get pulled over, like the police say. That's honest, and make sure you wear your seatbelt, because if I haven't had my seatbelt on that day, it could have been a different act for me. I could have been maybe thrown out the window. So it could have been 2 lives lost instead of 1. But just stay alert. I know a lot of teens have a lot of problems of texting and driving. So you don't realize, everybody think it's not gonna happen to me. It's not gonna happen to me, but it can, because it's showing me that I did everything right that day, and look the price I'm still paying. I have to pay for this for the rest of my life. And it's memories that I have to think about all the time. So just stay alert, and don't let nothing distract you. Some people put makeup on, even just simple things that you're thinking that you okay if I take my eye off the road for 1 minute, 1 second, that I'm okay. But 1 minute, 1 second can kill somebody. And you left with a family grieving. My family sees the pain of me still alive, seeing that I'm not always happy, that I go through different changes in a day. I can be happy in the morning, then be sad later in the day. So they see the difference that what caused my life. And the result of the other family, they have to deal with birthdays with a girl not being here. They have to deal with, holidays of not this year was the first holiday without her. So they have to learn how to deal with her not being here. So it's just not a good situation when you make choices, when you take choices on your own.